Am I the whole for not being more understanding of my dad and half-sister actively mourning their dead wife and mom? This one's been building up for a long time. I, 17, am trying to make sense of whether I'm really being heartless or just finally standing up for myself. So, here's the backstory. My dad was married before he met my mom. His first wife died in an accident when my half-sister, 27F, was only 7. 3 years later, he met my mom and they got married soon after. I was born a year later, when my half-sister was 10. From my earliest memories, our house was always half full of ghosts. Not in the creepy, haunted sense, but emotionally. My dad never really let go of his first wife, and my half-sister clung to her memory like it was a lifeline. I understand grief. I really do. Losing someone that close changes you, and it's not something you just move on from. But growing up as the kid who came after the perfect family that died before he was born, it kind of messes with your head. Anytime we had a family gathering, it was like a ticking time bomb. Birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, even graduations. There was always this moment where the energy shifted. Someone would make a toast, or there'd be a lull in conversation, and suddenly my dad's voice would break, or my half-sister would get up and leave the room. And then someone would mention her, Dad's first wife, my half-sister's mom, and the room would fall quiet. I've lost count of how many birthdays of mine were interrupted with a solemn speech about how hard life has been since she passed. Or how many photos we couldn't take because my half-sister didn't want to be in pictures that didn't include her mom. Or how many times I was told to be understanding, to give them space because grief doesn't go away. And it's not like I was being insensitive. I was just a kid. A kid who wanted a picture with his dad and sister at his 8th birthday party. A kid who wanted to feel like part of a whole family and not just a footnote after the tragedy. It wasn't just birthdays either. On my parents' 15th wedding anniversary, they hosted a big dinner. Friends, family, even coworkers came. Everything was going well until my dad decided to give a speech. And instead of saying something about my mom, the woman who's been by his side for over a decade, he started talking about his first wife. How he missed her every day. How she was the love of his life. How he never really felt whole again after she was gone. My mom smiled through it, but I saw the way her hand clenched on the tablecloth. I saw the sadness in her eyes that she tried so hard to hide. I asked her about it later, and she just said, "That's the life of marrying a widower. Some ghosts never leave." Last year, my half-sister got married.
She didn't invite me.
Or my mom. We weren't even mentioned. She told my dad that having us there would be too painful, too much of a reminder that her mom was gone and couldn't attend. So we stayed home. Then I saw videos posted later. My dad was there, standing with her at the altar, giving this heartfelt speech about how life was beautiful once, and how it never quite got that light back after she died. I don't think he even realized what that sounded like to me, to his son. Like his life with me and my mom wasn't enough. Like we were just placeholders in a story he wishes had never changed. I tried talking to him, genuinely. I told him I felt left out, like I wasn't part of the same family. That it hurt when he talked about his first wife like she was the only love he'd ever known. That maybe, just maybe, he could try making space for this family too. He brushed it off, changed the subject, like I hadn't even said anything. And every time I've brought it up since, he just sidesteps it. Or says I'm being too sensitive. That I don't understand what it's like to lose someone like that. And maybe I don't. But I do understand what it feels like to be second best in your own home. To feel like the mistake who only exists because someone else doesn't anymore. I once asked my mom, quietly, if she thought Dad would even show up to my wedding someday, if I didn't put a photo of his first wife up or allow a moment of remembrance for her. She didn't really answer. Just gave me that same quiet, pained look. And I didn't even bother asking whether my half-sister would come. I already knew the answer. My dad's milestone birthday is coming up soon. It's supposed to be a big family gathering. And I've decided I'm not going. Because I already know how it'll go. He'll give a speech, get emotional, say something about how much he still misses his first wife. My half-sister will cry. Mom and I will sit quietly in the corner, again. Maybe I'll get a half-hearted, "Oh, and I'm grateful for the rest of my family too," tacked onto the end, but it won't matter. The moment will already be gone. When I told my dad's side of the family that I wasn't going, they started pressuring me for answers. I kept it vague at first, but eventually I snapped and told them the truth. I said I was tired of every celebration being overshadowed by mourning. That it's exhausting to feel like you're nothing more than a painful reminder of what isn't anymore. And that grieving someone doesn't mean you forget the people who are still here, loving you, needing you. They didn't take it well. I've been getting messages calling me heartless, immature, selfish, that I lack empathy, that I don't respect what my dad and half-sister went through. But honestly, I think I've been more than empathetic. I've tried. For 17 years, I've tried to be understanding, to be patient, to be quiet. But I'm not quiet anymore. I'm just tired. Tired of being invisible in my own family. Tired of being treated like I don't matter because I wasn't part of their old life. Tired of seeing my mom pretend she's okay when she clearly isn't. So, am I the a-hole for not being more understanding of my dad and half-sister's grief and finally deciding to step away from it?